there for you, so you know.
What's up, people, and welcome to the only football show that hits harder than the 90th minute challenge on Bulldozer TV. I'm your host, Bulldozer, and with me is my fantastic co-host, Adam. Let's get straight into it. So we start with Manchester United against Spurs at the Tottenham Sports Stadium. It was a 2-2 draw game. It was one of the most boring games ever. It lived up to the expectation, El Capico. The first half was really boring. The second half, actually, Spurs came into the game. They made some noise, but then it was not until Sesko got off injured and United were down by a man, which led to Tottenham equalizing and then taking a 1-goal lead before Manchester United equalized at the death. So looking at the game, what was the key battles in the game and why did you think it ended in a 2-2 draw?
Well, I think United were in control for most parts of the game up until Casemiro left the game, Sesko's unfortunate injury, and in fact, most of United fans, rightly so, can blame it. Me, I blame two main players, Ugarte and then Sesko. Ugarte didn't track back. Tottenham did well staying in the game. And we knew that once they were playing at home, and their home form this season has been very poor. So naturally, they would want to give their fans something. And the international breakthrough is approaching. So you want to give your fans at least something to sustain them over the period. And United in the beginning played according to a game plan. The early goal also helped in maintaining the game plan. It was just unfortunate that owing to Sesko's injury, Ugate's lack of sharpness, everything crumbled. But some way, somehow, we were able to rescue a point. I think a draw is a fair result because United crumbled and Tottenham also did not show the needed character to see out the game. In the final minutes, they thought they had won, so they were just complacent, and then it just took them by surprise. Which shows that in the Premier League, you need to stay in 100%. You can't just switch off because the moment you switch off, you are gone.
Yeah, and I also think actually Tottenham were devastated after United equalizer because they thought, as you said, they had won the game. And
Yeah.
honestly, watching the first half of the game, it was quite a boring football. United scored from the run of play, but United should have actually had another goal. But first half, Tottenham were very, very blunt.
They were
They
very
were
poor.
very,
Very,
very
very, very
blunt
poor.
in the
Very, very, very poor.
yeah, very poor. And I think United should have scored a second goal and killed the game off. And you could see that even with the second half, Tottenham had nothing in attack. And there were times where Xavi Simons would get the ball and there were no players running towards the attacking line for him to give a pass. It was quite a boring game. And like you said, I think the 2-2 draw is a fair result.
It's a fair result.
But because both teams didn't
deserve to
teams
win.
didn't
Both
do
teams deserve to win.
yeah.
So I think a draw is a fair result.
Yeah, it's a. But now let's talk about Amorim. 5 games since the international break. 5 games, 3 wins and 2 draws.
Unbeaten, yeah, unbeaten.
Yeah, unbeaten. And looking at it, like how things can change within just a month. So, are you still Amorim in or Amorim out? And do you think that really going through United is going through the right process of coming back to the United we used to know?
Yes. I as at now, I am Amorim in. A few weeks back, my answer may not have been the same because we were seeing a coach who was failing to adapt. The system is not the problem. His in-game management is what is the problem. Sometimes you can have a style of play or a system, okay, but you can adapt based on the nature of the opponent or based on the availability of personnel that you have. You don't prove to be stubborn and the thing is not working. Look at our game against Brentford. It was clear Brentford just knew what we were going to do. So that is why now, as much as possible, he's trying to adapt. And I'm liking his tendency for adapting. Sometimes the problem with wanting to also adapt or modify your game is that you tend to overdo it. There are some games you can keep it simple, and there are others that you can, show some mystery or mystique. So as it stands now, I'm Amorim in. I think United fans are seeing what he wants to do. And if you observe the season, there are only a few games that he is to blame. There are only few games. For example, the Brentford game, even in that game, we even fought a penalty. So you could see that is the fine margins. Is the fine margins. If we, for example, had won at Forest and had won at Spurs, that would have been 4 more points in addition to what we have. Okay, so we are not using hypotheticals here. The point is, I'm Amorim in. He's doing something that United fans can attest to, and we see that this is the way to go, and definitely it will bring us success at the end of the season.
Yeah, and another game on Saturday that lived up to expectation was Sunderland against
You
Arsenal.
remember I mentioned the fact that this is the Premier League. Anything can happen.
Yeah, I went for Sunderland win. I went for Arsenal win because I thought
Mhm.
Arsenal would be too strong for Sunderland. But Sunderland also proved very well. It was a 2-2 draw. It was Arsenal defense was breached twice in the game, and looking at it like the atmosphere at the Stadium of Light was incredible. Even watching from the TV, you could just hear the fans. So looking at it, do you think what did Arsenal get wrong and what did Sunderland do right to get a
No,
draw
Arsenal
at the Stadium of?
work on any other possible scenario that may play out. You do not go into a game with a fixated plan and not have a plan B or a plan C or a plan D. And we have seen sometimes in the best of Premier League matches whereby in one match you see coaches modify formations about 3, 4, 5 times because at every point in the game there is a certain style you need to adapt to be able to see through the face of that game. So Sunderland, credit to Sunderland, massive credit. They stayed in the game up until the very end. They even wanted to win. They took the lead and then Arsenal equalized, scored, and then they came back in the last minute. It shows proper resilience, proper character, and Sunderland have proven to be a proper backlist team. Their return to the Premier League is not a fluke. They have shown experience. And credit to Granit Xhaka, some of the boys who are in there showing that indeed Premier League experience counts.
Yeah, and also looking at it, they did they bought about 14 players. So
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
really ready
yeah,
for the Premier League.
yeah,
They
yeah,
made sure
yeah,
that they bought players in the right areas and they brought in experience, like as you said, Aka and then Adabari, who
yeah,
used to be
yeah,
in
yeah.
Chelsea and also I
Chelsea,
think
yeah.
Aston Villa. So Sunderland are ready to stay in the Premier League. They don't want to go
Oh
back to the
yes, yes. They
Champions
look
League. And
like a proper
from
backlist
what it
team that
looks
will
like,
stay.
yeah, they are from what it looks like, they are going to stay in the Premier
Yeah,
League. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and now let's talk about the game of the week, which was Liverpool against Man City at the Etihad Stadium. It was a total hammering. We all predicted a Man City win, but
Obviously,
we didn't know
a
that it
musty
was going to be
hammering.
a blowout.
We didn't know it would be a musty hammering. Yeah,
Yeah. So looking at it, like Doku had one of his best games. Like we always talk about Doku, and we say Doku is a very good player, but then he lacks end product,
the
which is true.
finishing.
When you watch him, he's a very good dribbler. He has the pace. When he gets you 1-on-1, like he's the kind of player that laterals will not like to face because he can undo you with his strikes based on 1-on-1. But then what people have been hammering in upon is that he lacks the end product.
And
But
and and
you
and
could
just
see
a
it
quick
today.
start. He had gone 24 games without a goal, which people
Yeah.
didn't even realize.
Yeah. Yeah. So looking at today's game, like, what did you think Man City did very right to blow Liverpool off the field? And what did you think Liverpool did wrong?
Man City showed proper character. They showed proper character. They stuck to their game plan. And, credit to Pep. He knew that Liverpool were there for the taking. Liverpool had won in midweek. So they were coming into this game off of a certain Champions League high. City also won, but, the nature of Liverpool's victory was more profound than
It was against Real
City's
Madrid.
victory. Yeah. So
Yeah.
naturally, Liverpool would have been the side that had the edge in terms of coming into the game and then previous victory. However, City showed character. They did not overdo, they did not do any extraordinary thing. They just stuck to the basics. Doku was a terror, and as usual, Haaland, playing the basics. There was an unfortunate goal that was disallowed, Van Dijk goal, which
Yeah.
I think if was allowed could have changed the dynamic of the game. It may not have altered the result significantly in that City would have still won, but at least it would have. Sometimes what makes some matches worth watching is when the opponent think they have a chance and then going at it. But once that was overruled, sort of demoralized the Liverpool team. Nothing was working, and from then on, you could see that City were just home and dry. They just had to see out the game. So I am not really surprised with the result, as you mentioned earlier, because we all expected a City win. I am only shocked at the nature of the hammering. And it brings into question, Liverpool's credentials as, being able to defend this title. Because for a team that won the title last season and defending champions, and you are not looking like defending champions at this stage of the season, you know, there are more games to go. They will definitely come good. But sometimes when you look back, it is times like this in the season that may undo your result at the end, because you get to the end of the season and realize that if I had won this, if I had, ifs and buts and all that. But the mark of true champions is riding out tough periods, matches that you're not even expected to win, or you are expected to lose. At least you get a result, either a draw with something. City are showing the mark of champions as compared to Liverpool, who are the defending champions, and yet as they are playing, nothing shows that they were the defending champions. And looking at the amount of money they've spent over the summer, it is shocking that, if at the beginning of the season, anybody would have guessed that after the 11th match week, Liverpool would be in this position, you would say they are lying, such that they are even below Manchester United. You would say they are lying because obviously going into the season, you have reinforced, you have even gotten one of the most potent Premier League strikers, and yet it is not working. It is not gelling. It means that to win the Premier League or to play in the Premier League goes beyond just the individual, the teamwork. And look at Florian Wirtz. This is now 11 games without a goal contribution. The most expensive Premier League signing. 11 games. Come on, come on, come on. This is not good for Liverpool. Not good.
Yeah, and so I watched the whole 90 minutes of the game. The first 45 minutes, Liverpool were terrible. So as you said, and I believe the goal should have counted, because
Yeah,
although Robertson was in the offside position, the goalkeeper saw the ball all the way out. There was nothing he
exactly.
could do. There
Exactly. He
was
could not
nothing the
obstruct him. Yeah.
goalkeeper could do.
Yeah.
So I think the goal should have stood, by just the rules are the rules. Just because he was in an offside position, it was.
And once
And
the
looking
goal,
at it,
if the goal had stood, it would have changed the dynamic of the game.
yeah, it would have. Yeah, like you said, we don't know if City would have still won, but
Yeah.
then what we can say, it would have changed the direction of
dynamic.
travel
Yeah.
of the game, because then Liverpool would be like, okay, we are not playing right, we are not playing all right. So, but then we have a goal. It's now 1-1, and we go into the half with a 1-1 draw. So then second half, because you could see second half they came in stronger, although they were 2-0 down. They came in stronger, but then Doku's goal killed the game off. And looking at, we talk, so like you said, Liverpool just bought so many players, and everybody tipped them to be the Premier League, outright
To
Premier
defend
League
their title
favorites. But
easy.
now, yeah, but this is what most people don't understand about Liverpool. Back with club, they used to have Sadio Mane and then Firmino, who were really hard workers off the ball,
Yes.
and they
Yes.
were very good even on the
Even
ball. So
Salah
they worked very
enjoyed.
hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Salah was even the
Yes.
biggest
And
beneficiary.
this created chances for Salah, because Salah was mostly the guy that scores the goal. But because Sadio Mane and Firmino weren't scoring the goals, people didn't really give them the praise. It was always for Salah. But then Salah was the beneficiary of the hard work of Sadio Mane and Firmino. And then you could also see last season when Liverpool won the league also, there was another guy who really did well off the ball, and he was the first line of the press. That was Luis Diaz. And we could
Yeah.
see what
Yeah.
he's doing
Yeah.
right now
Yeah.
with Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
So now you can't have wet pressing like Luis Diaz. Gapo doesn't do the job of Luis Diaz. Now this is having an effect on Salah. So now Salah doesn't have the chance. And when he gets the chance, because I've always said, when you watch Doku today, even without the goal, he was dominant. He was concentrated. He was all over the place. Salah is not
Yeah.
that kind of player. He's a moment player. You only hear of Salah when he scores a goal. So this is the time when he's not working hard. He's not tracking back and this one. He looks like a passenger in the game. And you could see in today's game, Salah looked like a passenger in the game. So before we wrap up, Aston Villa beat Bournemouth by 4-0. We thought Bournemouth was going to score Aston Villa, but when you watch the game, like Martinez was awesome. He saved a penalty, made some crucial saves. So yeah, it was one of those games where you can never. It was a good game, as you said, for the neutral. So yeah, and Brentford against Newcastle. What is happening to Newcastle? Like,
We called it.
what is your
We
thought on
called it. We called it that Newcastle are bad travelers. Newcastle are very, very, very bad
Yeah.
travelers. Bad travelers. I was not surprised with the results because Brentford this season have been very good. In fact, at home, they play very, very, very well. Mind you, they beat United, they beat Liverpool at home. So they have very good form at home. And Newcastle are bad travelers. So it was recipe for disaster.
Yeah, and then Chelsea, as we called it, they beat. It was a comfortable victory against
Easy,
Wolverhampton by 3
comfortable.
goals. Yeah. So looking at it now, the Premier League, we are like a week ago, we were all confident that Arsenal is going to win the Premier League, but now they are still first on 26 points, while City is second on 22 points. Chelsea is third, but we all know Chelsea is not in the league race because of the inconsistency. So who do you think are the favorites for the Premier League? And do you think City can push Arsenal all the way?
City will push Arsenal, but my dark horse is Manchester United. It will shock you people this season because
Let's be serious.
Oh no, hear me out. We are playing one game a week. Mind
Yeah.
you, when the season gets to the business end, many of the teams in England, if they do well in Europe, are going to go far. Maintaining the consistency in Europe and in England would have to stretch your squad very much. If I am tipping Manchester United to be in the top three, my top three for the season will be Manchester United,
Dude.
Man City, and Arsenal.
Yeah, living in a la la
Let
land.
this video be on record that I said top three this season: Manchester United,
Is the
Man
hope that
City,
kills? You
Arsenal.
know that, right?
It will shock you people because you see, slowly but
Okay.
surely, Amorim is building something. It may take time, and what will show the test of a good team is during the AFCON. During the AFCON, we have our very good players in Mazraoui, Ahmad, and Mbeumo leaving. So
Mazrari is no more now.
Well, but the point is, I mean, by virtue of him being African, Ahmad, Mbeumo, and then Mazraoui, we would lose these three players. The nature of your squad depth will come to bear. And true champions have proper squad depth. So if we are able to go through that period with the Ahmad Mbeumo absence, the AFCON period, by the turn of the new year, we are in the top four. Trust me, we would have a say in where the title ends up.
Honestly, I still think Arsenal is still the favorite, but you know what? I wouldn't want Arsenal to win. I like it the way Man City. You could see the confidence with Pep Guardiola during his post-match. His smiles are back. Like he feels like this team is good enough, and we could see. So like I like the Man City chasing Arsenal, and I believe that at the end of the season, because of course, as a Chelsea fan, I would love Chelsea to win it, but if it's not going to be Chelsea, I don't want any of Arsenal or Liverpool. Nobody give erratas about Man City winning because who cares about Man City? Like they can win all the trophies, we don't give a shit about them. So I would prefer Man City winning, but yeah, and I like it. It's just 4 points.
I think people would want Man City to win it, but I'm telling you that Manchester United will have a say in where the title.
Forget about. Yo, I think the top four is Chelsea is going to be the top four, in my opinion, is going to be Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, and then I was going for Liverpool, but Liverpool, then Manchester United being in the fifth position. So we'll see how it goes. So from all of us here at Bulldozer TV, yeah, a massive thank you for riding that emotional wave with us. Smash that like button, subscribe for more unfiltered post-game reaction and passion, and hit the bell so you never miss a reaction. Stay passionate, stay loud, and cheers.